moto with some good track position. 32nd board is spun around. Here we go. Gate is down. Let's see what happens. Big jump for it looks like the
Could be Wilson Todd there.
yeah, I think that's Wilson Todd there. 41 machine. There's the 7 and Tyranny. So, ooh, someone's getting all sorts of sideways. That's the first whole shot I predicted this year. I feel pretty good about that.
Only 2 rounds in.
Take them odds to Vegas. It's a night now. There's
Wade Carter we didn't see in the first moto. Something's obviously happened.
Wade Carter had a horrible ride in the first moto. 16th position. Carter's a guy that if he's on will just be so fast. A guy like I mentioned at Horsham is unfortunately was leading that second moto but didn't count.
Yeah, he's having a go. His feet are off. And
yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
No, it's all good, man. He's definitely having a crack. Oh, Wade Carter is hanging it out. Safe to say, 16th position was not what he wanted in that first moto.
Oh.
And Wilson Todd's just going to ride around the outside.
Cloudy's line there. That's nice.
Oh, man. What a ride. Todd's going to get a 2-for-1 deal. Take your value meal home, guys. He just got a 2-for-1. Wow. So Wilson Todd, Wade Carter was scrubbing and making all sorts of noise, and Wilson Todd just pulled a Stefan Everts and
stood up around the outside.
That's
a nice line. That's when we were speaking earlier about the one that Cloudy had. I didn't actually see any of the open guys using that. I definitely didn't. Kirk was running right down the inside.
But hey, Clout's team, Serco Yamaha, is parked right next to the Yamaha team of GYTR. So I have a feeling that Clout might have said something there because Wilson knew that line all too well right there. That was awesome.
Yeah, definitely. First lap too.
Yeah, that was an ace up the sleeve right there. As we are getting going with this second Pirelli MXD Unknown's Moto of the day. Conatiri in second. Carter's still there in third. Carter's got to make something happen pretty quick because these 20-minute motos go by in a pretty quick amount of time. And Wilson Todd right now starting to show some glimpses of the Wilson Todd we saw last year, decimating the field at Gladstone and a few of the other rounds. He was really on his A game last year and showed some, speed that matched or bettered the guys that were winning MX2.
Yeah, I actually raced Wilson last year in the Queensland titles, and this is like pretty much first senior race, and he was fast.
Yeah,
real fast. He was really fast, a little bit inconsistent, but he rode really good, and he's good to ride with, good to race with, and it was
88 of Jordan Hill is down again, so that's definitely not
weekend.
The day that Jordan Hill wanted after such a promising Horsham, but that's why this is the rookie class, the MXD, as Carter finally makes the move. He's Tyranny, but Tyranny goes right back around the outside. Carter's hanging it out. I'm not sure what's going on with Wade. He's normally such a smooth rider, but maybe he's a bit flustered, trying a bit too hard.
Yeah, I think he's sort of a bit worried that Wilson's going to check out, so he wants to get the second quick and try and latch on so it's going to be there for the end of the race too.
But as we were saying, that is why this is the rookie MXD class, because they are younger riders. I think Wilson Todd's still 16 years old.
Yeah, I think he opted to step up.
He stepped up early last year to race when Joel Dinsdale got injured.
Yes, he'd be 17 this year, maybe
16 or 17 this year. That's that's a lot of pressure on a young head and shoulders in terms of being mature enough to, especially racing with his, that broken elbow and the soft tissue damage in that elbow joint.
Wade's got around him too now.
Yeah, so Carter's in second, but coming from a guy like, coming from a ride where he's injured right now, this is a bit of a sign that when he does come back to health, it's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, sort of speaking to him yesterday, and he sort of was saying that he wanted to obviously do good. He want to win, but he really wants to maintain, because we have a week break between every round now. It's sort of every second week, and those 2 weeks are really helpful for obviously his elbow. So the amount he's recovered since last round is a massive improvement, and obviously the next 2 weeks are going to be another massive improvement. So if he can get solid points and keep himself in the championship hunt, and the last half of the season when he's 100% healthy, he can really pound out the wins, hopefully.
Yeah, that's right. Now I actually talked to his team manager Scott Bishop, who's been steering the ship at GYT Yamaha for quite a while, and a manager that is very familiar in working with the youngsters and bringing them through. And he said that Wilson actually got to ride 2 or 3 times this week for the first time. So it goes to show that Horsham was survival mode, and you know what? He might need to go into survival mode right now, because Wade Carter, Mr. Hanging Out, cutting loose here in this second moto. He is coming through, and I don't think Wilson Todd's going to want any part of doing any bar banging right now with that injury. So if Carter can charm a wheel, maybe Todd's just going to let this one go.
He's got that nice line sort of on the outside, the low line off the single here. interesting to see, if Wade can keep this up for the whole of the 20 minutes. It's a pretty erratic style. He's running very aggressive, using a lot of energy.
There's Tierney there in third. The number 8 machine there of that's Joel Michael in fourth. So Michael having a lot better ride than he did there in that first one. He was down in 20th position in the first race. So
like I was saying earlier, Joe, that it's just all over the shop, the points. Like the top two guys. Oh no.
Got a rider gone down there pretty hard. At least he's sitting up. But race safe for
219.
219. That is the Lachlan Wilson. 219 machine of Lachlan Wilson.
Good to see he can walk off.
Always good when you see a rider go down. Now, here's the rules there, Brandon. The green flag is up, so they can go back to speed after that section. But when there's waved yellows and race safe are out, the riders must make eye contact with the officials. As we go bar to bar, here we go. Carter, this outside line's been quick, but it doesn't always end that way. Long way around, but here we go. It's going to be a squeeze. Oh, Carter, what a good move. Inside out.
I think Wilson sort of just overjumped that a little bit. Sort of got a bit worried about who was behind him, not himself, and he missed a line.
Now, what I will say for Carter, a rider I love to watch ride, a lot of potential, but last few years I've sort of seen him in the local races and the juniors and coming through, and a rider that has been known to get arm pump and struggle with fitness towards the end of the races. And the way he's using energy right now, we are only 5 minutes into this 20-minute plus a lap moto, so at this stage I don't want to jinx him. I would love to see Carter go all the way through, but Wilson Todd on the other hand is a guy with an injury that's probably not got 24 minutes in the tank either, so it could be a battle of attrition here between these two.
Yeah, definitely. So I've never really had a lot to do with Wade or his family or anyone. I've met him a couple of times now, but yeah, he definitely seems to be a good rider, and he's not scared of having a go, so hopefully he can finish it off.
Well, a lot of speed now. Ride Park down in Victoria, he's a local out there. I see him riding out there a lot when we go to the track, and I go ahead and say he's one of the fastest riders in the ruts out there. Everyone that rides in Victoria knows how deep the ruts get.
Oh no, what's that?
Look, the bike's lost the header pipe. Was that the header pipe just fell off? No, I'm tripping out.
It was something to do with that.
Like something just blew out of the front of that bike, though.
See, there's another thing to point out as well. I did it a lot last year. I raced a two-stroke. They got the big expansion chambers, which is we call the header pipe that comes out the front of your engine there, and they hang so low with the big ruts that you can dent them. I had to go through a pipe nearly every race. When I raced here, just from leaning in the ruts, and even on the right-handers on the two-strokes, you can't even lean that far because the pipe stops you from going down. And that's exactly the right that just happened there.
The KTMs, they do have the largest front chamber on that exhaust system, and I guess, as you say, Brandon, he's leaned in on that right off camber, and it's just caught, and that's only a couple of small O-rings and springs that hold that front header pipe on, and I guess that's sort of just blown out the side, and a little bit of smoke's come out of the head, but got me a bit excited there. I thought the header pipe might have come off, but Wade Carter, his riding style on that two-stroke, I've said it before, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Jeremy McGrath, like so far over the front of the bike, and he just looks real solid on that two-stroke, and he's a bigger kid as well.
Yeah.
Two-stroke definitely suits his riding style. He rides it well.
Yeah, definitely. So it's one of those options again that can be good and can be bad depending on the surface of the track, and like you say, the rider. What the rider's preferences are. Some people can ride two strokes, and some people can't. Wilson's still there. He's still hanging on there.
We're only 7 minutes into this moto.
Feels like it's been going for a while.
It does. Connor Tierney, they're still in third. Solid ride for Tierney. We're waiting to see the riders further down the field behind Tierney to get the fourth through back. As we said, unfortunately, some issues with the internet up here at Appin today and the data services, and unfortunately cannot be able to bring you guys. Wow, that's got to be one of the saves of the day. And Carter's going to roll that step up, takes a look over, and I bet he's going to see a big front plate of 41. Wilson Todd, there he is.
Yeah, and being Wilson there, and you're seeing these little mistakes that he's making, it gives you a bit of a sniff, and you can see, you're thinking that he's getting tired or he's getting flustered, and it gives you the sniff. It's like
blood in the water.
A bit of an animal sort of.
You see that mistake, and it's that mindset switches from I just got past, this guy's struggling right now.
Yeah.
And Wilson's just riding around minding his own business, racing the track. So Carter's a guy that, a few mistakes there, but I'm sure he's going to have the composure to fix it. But now Wilson Todd's right on the backside.
I think he's struggling from something a little bit here. I don't want to say it too early, but you can see sometimes he peels off early and tries to find some smoother lines, and maybe he's pushed pretty hard to start with, and he's
So it is
decided to do early.
Carter out front, followed by Wilson Todd. Then it's the number 7 of Conatiri, the number 8 of Joel Michael in the 4th position. Running through the top 4 there. 8.5 minutes into this moto, and Wilson Todd is keeping Wade Carter pretty honest. Carter made a few mistakes that last lap, and he's starting to just open that gap back up a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see how far Jordan Hill can come back. A lot of hype about this kid winning the first moto. Winning that first moto at Horsham, and D Wilson being second. D, another rider who's going to bring a lot of speed to this class this year. But hey, we just missed that bit there off camera, but I'm not sure what happened to Wade Carter at the bottom of that hill. But Wilson Todd used that line around the outside again and just blew back around Carter.
It's take my hats off to these guys as we walk the track just in that little break there, Jamie. Seeing some of these ruts are big, like they'd be easily over knee height. Some of them, and these guys are, and they're both using multiple lines, and they're being smart about it. And to do this for 20 minutes at this, at a young age, it's a big ask, and these guys are doing a great job. See if I think Wilson's, like we said earlier, he got a little bit of a sniff there, and I think he's going to try. And that was an awesome line.
That was a good line. He's definitely cutting some real estate and staying in the smooth lines and a
shorter.
Now, for any of you guys at home, I know I hear this a lot, and it's something I want to put into perspective for the fans that don't get too many of the MX Nationals, but they're local races, and they see the local guys that do good at state level, that do good at regional level, and then they go to the MX Nationals in under 19s, in MX2, whatever it might be, and they're like, oh, why is this guy not running up front at the Nationals? He kills it locally, but you really need to understand how much rougher and more intense the tracks are, because you'll never see a rut as deep as you will at MX National, and these TV cameras here, guys, they're high quality, high def, but these ruts are so much deeper than they look.
They just don't do it justice. Yeah, like you said, they're big, and it's every single corner. The holes are big. There's kickers on the jumps like we seen Jay Wilson here earlier. There's blue groove. It's awesome.
It is awesome, and some of these sections, the ruts go down the hill. They do a 180 U-turn, and they come halfway back up the hill. You hit a jump, and you land in another set of ruts to take you all the way back up the hill. It's something that you really need to spend a couple years on the circuit to learn, because if you don't, you just never get exposed to track conditions like this.
Yeah, definitely.
So here we go, and Wilson Todd's still out front.
It's going to be a really good confidence booster for him if he can finish this off. He's sore. He's got another 2-week break to get ahead. So I think it's going to be a big confidence booster for him, and also for Wade Carter too, there to be there and finish a solid second as well. So I don't really know what happened to him in the first moto. Obviously, a little crash or something went wrong, but he's redeemed himself this race and getting some solid points.
Wade Carter's a guy that's always had speed. He's always been there or thereabouts. And as we see Wilson Todd on the camera there, Wade Carter, I don't want to keep saying it about fitness, but it seems that he's definitely got the raw speed, but puts it in for a few laps, and look how much he's dropped back now. I don't think the speed, he's lost a full straightaway already.
It's something, hopefully he recognizes that, and his team and himself just work on it. It's something you can definitely build. Like, these guys have got a full season to build on it. So, and obviously race practice is a lot, like we were saying earlier. Like, practicing during the week is you can do motos all day long, and you come to a race, it's like boxers and fighting. It's just, sort of similar. You get put in a pressure situation, and there's 3/4 of your energy gone before you even start.
Yeah, you can spar and you can train all you want in the boxing ring, but as soon as that fight comes up, the nervous energy accounts for a lot, and it's exactly the same here. These guys are technically in a fight situation, but the adrenaline and all the nerves and people spinning out in front of you and cutting all sorts of crazy lines and shapes in the first few laps, you're holding your breath, your arms pumping up, you're not riding in a flow. It changes a lot of the dynamics of your fitness and your whole race sort of parameter and how you go about things, as opposed to how you do it during the week. So right now, it is Wilson Todd out front, followed by Wade Carter. Then it's number 7 of Connor Tierney. We've got the number 20 machine there of Lachlan Davis, now moved into 4th. And behind Davis is the 47 machine of Toby Stevens. So that's been a solid day for Stevens. Two top fives there for
Yeah,
Toby Stevens.
nice.
That's awesome on the two-stroke Yamaha.
Consistent. That's awesome.
He's got a really good last name. I like that kid already. And, two top fives, that's a really solid way to, have your day go at Appin. So good job there for Toby Stevens. But as we see on camera, Carter is coming through, and behind Carter, there's Tyranny, who,
Bit
bad
off
time to get
balance
back
there.
on. As we said, guys, that hill's a lot steeper than it looks, and it will almost stop you on the way down. I think that was Stevens right there, behind him, maybe.
Bailey Cox in there.
I think that's Shadbolt. Yeah, that's Ryan Shadbolt there.
Interesting to see if we had the low timing, where the two guys are, Caleb Byram and Jesse Madden. They've obviously
Byram and Madden are not even anywhere to be seen in this
just
race.
all over the shop. Just bad starts and just little mistakes. It is a track like this though that it brings it out. Definitely, it's quite hard to pass, and a bad start can, the front guys are gone, and it's pretty hard to get back up to the front.
It's interesting to see this MXD class sort of goes in cycles, and in 2014 and 2013, you had the likes of Hamish Harwood, Jack Simpson, Nathan Crawford. The likes of, there was a lot of fast guys. That this class was almost faster than MX2.
Yeah.
For a couple of years, it was actually kind of scary how
Super
fast these guys
yeah.
were going. And now, as you see, Wade Coulter coming through in second, putting the laps down. I wouldn't say the talent's thinned out. That's not fair to say. But it's definitely not as strong as it was. Guys like Egan Maston, like I said, that won the championship. I mean, Nathan Crawford last year was winning MX2 races when he stepped out for the guest ride of MXD.
Yeah.
So, the intensity and the speed in MXD the last couple of years, Hamish Harwood moved out in 2013 from MXD to 2014 in MX2 and finished second in the championship. And that was the champion from the year before in MXD. Right now I don't see these guys doing that. So it's interesting to see how it sort of goes in yearly sort of cycles,
Yeah. I definitely think Wilson's going to be good, and, Wade's riding really good. And I think some of these guys just need to find their feet and just use these weekends and really build on it. It's
Wilson Todd being healthy, we all know how fast he is. So I think, as you said, when he's back to full potential, he'll be a guy probably going to the MX2 ranks next year.
Yeah, he sort of did last year, obviously a bit early, and he got sort of called in. But this year, he's hopefully will, for his sake, he ticks her off and moves up to the MX2 class.
But also for a lot of riders, it's important to note that some guys do tend to stay. Like we talked about Jay Wilson earlier today, as we've just crossed the 16-minute mark now. So we've got about 3 laps to go here in the final Pirelli MXD Moto of the day. Jay Wilson's a guy that actually stayed in under 19s for about 3 or 4 years, like we said, 3 or 4 seasons. But it's important to note that it's all well and good having ambitions to move into MX2 or MX1, but there's a lot of manufacturer support here in MXD, and it's hard to get a ride in the other classes. So, it's a case of maybe Todd wants to move up, but if there's not a ride anywhere else, you've got to stay where the support is.
Yeah, definitely. And like you're explaining, I think last weekend, the Yamaha guys have got a good little program going on where these guys can go from here and step up to Serco, and then possibly from Serco to the real factory team, which is CDR Yamaha, which is the Open, the Premier class. And I think Wilson's got a pretty good relationship with the Serco guys and Yamaha, so he's got a good option there.
He definitely does. But back on camera, Carter's dropped big time anchor, and Tyranny is right on the backside of Wade Carter now. So let's see if Tyranny can get around Carter. Got a good battle there with some of the Kawasaki riders there. That seems to be the 20. I think that was Lachlan Davis there, and maybe Ryan Shadbolt. So they were going at it. That's good to see a nice battle there just outside the top 5. Wilson Todd making this one a bit boring, to be honest with you. Solid ride. Putting some riders a lap down. But yeah, Wilson Todd is somewhat in the form of Jed Beaton. Beaton went from GYTR to Serco, and unfortunately quite a bad weekend, or not a bad weekend, but not on form of Horsham for Beaton. But he's winning races already in MX2, and he was fresh out of the GYTR under 19s program.
Yeah.
So he is essentially next in line with Wilson Todby to move into that situation where Serco should say Luke Clout move next year and go somewhere else. So then Beaton would become the premier rider at Serco, and Wilson Todd would be the number 2.
Yeah, they got really good programs going. It's really good for these kids to know that they have a future as well, because sometimes it can be a bit bit frustrating or makes you a bit nervous not knowing what there's any possibilities to go up. So
Yeah, I think motocross is renowned for being a year-to-year contract
yeah,
gig at the pro level, if if you have the luxury of even signing a contract.
yeah,
So having that infrastructure where the guys are saying, hey, just stay where you're at, keep performing. We're looking at you for 2016 or
yeah,
2017, and we'll make a spot available for you if you can do this.
yeah. It definitely helps.
Not many riders do have that luxury. But Wilson Todd put himself in good positions. He's got the skills to pay the bills right now, and he's running out front, broken elbow and all. And coming from someone like myself, Brendan, you've had a lot of injuries. I've got an elbow that pretty much doesn't work and a few surgeries on it. I can tell you that riding with a broken elbow is no easy feat. And unfortunately, I see a medic flag waving. Oh, that is not good. Hoping that that rider's just rung his bell a little bit.
Yeah, same.
We are 19 minutes in to this moto, and at this stage, I think we're going to be looking at possibly the last lap board coming out.
Yeah,
Maybe. Let's see where we're at. We've got 1 minute left. I think at this section of the track, maybe Wilson Todd's going to get 2 laps to go. Let's just go ahead and see what he can put in. But wow, them ruts are deep coming down that hill.
yeah, and it even looks deep on camera. So definitely, you can see here he's going to be sore tomorrow. Oh, another one
Another
down.
rider going down there, dropping like flies here in this last moto of the MXD class. That is the number 12 machine there of that's Joel Adamson. So Adamson's obviously had a pretty big yard sale off that double there, and unfortunately for him, not the way he would want to have his second moto go here at Appin, but any day you can have a cartwheel and get back up and go back to the pits is a good day, in my opinion.
Yeah,
another rider
another
down.
one. Looking at how Wilson's riding, it could be last lap, this lap maybe. He's sort of just hopping around and just making it.
He is sort of rolling around. Let's see.
Unless he's super sore. He's still another one.
That was bang on 20 minutes on our stopwatch, so I'm not exactly sure if the last lap board's come out or not.
Yeah.
But either way, Wilson Todd's got this one in the bag. He's just got to mail it home. I really want to see if Connor Tierney has got around Wade Carter. Battle of the two strokes.
Yeah.
As I said, Carter was cutting all sorts of shapes early in the race and getting out of shape and hanging it out. He got to the lead, but has since definitely thrown the anchor out, and Tierney's catching back up. So just goes to show that you can be consistent and put your laps in, ride your own race, and it'll put you in good positions, as Wilson Todd did, as Connor Tierney has. They didn't really take any chances, and sometimes that's a smart move when the track is this rough.
Yeah, definitely, and you can save a bit more energy, and yeah, definitely going to help. So it'll be interesting to see if this is the last lap, and it's good to see that the young fella there's up and gone.
That medic flag has gone away because after the last few weeks, as I said in the opening ceremonies, we're definitely going to give a shout out to D. Wilson and the whole Wilson family. Also, Luca Baylor, both riders injured pretty severely at the first round of racing here, and it was at the second under 19s moto. D has been moved to the Caulfield Hospital in Melbourne to start his brain rehabilitation. But talking to Jay and looking at the press releases that the Wilson family have been putting up, they certainly have seen a lot of progress in D, and it's awesome to see that, he will most likely make a 100% recovery. Unfortunately, we don't have him out here mixing it up with these guys, because a second in the first moto at Horsham was a good indicator.
Good comeback too, that was.
Yeah, he's had a rough couple of years with injuries, and unfortunately, it does go to show just how quickly this sport can spin around and bite you. We are looking like the last lap, and I think Wilson Todd is just going to go ahead and mail this one home. He is checked out, and it is Wilson Todd. He's taking a look over his shoulder. MXD under 19's Moto 2 victory. That is your winner, the GYTR Yamaha rider of Wilson Todd. Fantastic ride for the injured Todd. Looking back, we're waiting for the number. I think that was the number 47 machine now. I think Toby Stevens.
There's the 7 there.
Yeah, so there's Connor Tierney. I'm not sure if Stevens got back to second, but we're going to throw right now to a commercial break, guys. Make sure you stay with us on NRG TV for the post-race interviews with our winners here at Appin.